How to build immense amounts of trust with your clients online and get them to pay you. This is stuff that I wish I had known when I was starting my businesses, my online businesses, whatever kind of business it is, right? So this delves into the human psychology piece of things, and this is why reading human psychology books is very, very important. Very, very important for the sport of business. When it comes to building trust with people, just think about it in like a very basic, primal way. When you meet someone for the first time, you aren't totally sure if you can trust them. You introduce yourself, you tell each other what you're about, but it's not until like the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th time where you're like, okay, I trust this person to be around me. I trust them to deliver, right? Like trust takes time. It takes multiple instances of people seeing you. It takes other people to vouch for you on your behalf, right? People need to spread good words about you, testimonials, stuff like that. Like all this stuff comes into play, but the number one thing is they need time in your atmosphere. You need to give people time in your ecosystem to get to really know you, to see if you're putting on a front, a facade, or to see if you're really what you talk about. And the first way you build that trust is, especially in the online space, which everything is going to be, and you should be building your business online. If you want to build immense amounts of trust online, the first thing you need to do, if we're starting from the top going down, is to put out a ton of content, right? This is good for a couple of reasons. First off, it builds trust because people see you a lot. The second thing is you're building catalogs. So down the road, it's like, first of all, it's like having clones of yourself that are selling for you. People are always running into your stuff for the first time, so don't worry about oversaturating things. But second is, especially if you're putting stuff out on YouTube, you can, like, that stuff will make you money. I record 3 videos a day, and I put out at least 1 video a day, just pre-scheduled, because I know that in a year from now, this stuff is going to start to pay me residual income. This stuff is going to start paying me. Like, it's like having a catalog of songs. That's essentially what this is. But also, it gives people an opportunity to build, to trust me. Because yes, I have like the 60-second Instagram clips or the YouTube clips. Sure, fine, okay. But in a long form format like this, people get to really feel my energy. And the same applies to you. So long form stuff like YouTube, podcasts, that stuff is great. This is all like top of the funnel stuff. This is, in other words, when people are first introduced to you and they're finding out about you, there's a curiosity phase, and then there's the discovery phase. And the curiosity phase, when you first pique their interest, that's like the clips. That's the Instagram, the YouTube, stuff like that, TikToks. And that stuff is very, very important because that's how you reel them in. It's like putting billboards everywhere and saying, hey, I exist. I'm the person for whatever you're selling. I'm the person in this space. Even if you're not, you have to act like you are. You have to validate yourself. So I've said this before in a couple of one-on-ones with clients, but I can't tell you how many times, almost always, when people actually get on the phone with me or they get on a Zoom call with me, it's always the same thing. They always say, you know what, Pablo, I've been following you on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube for a few weeks now or a few months now, and I finally decided to pull the trigger. In other words, they've been following me for a very long time, right? So it takes people like 10, 15, even 20 plus times of seeing you to really even move to the discovery phase. Unless you're offering and you're in a space where you're offering something that they were already looking for. If they're coming across you for the first time, it takes like 10 times more instances than you think it does for them to even move to like the discovery phase or for them to even trust you. And that's okay. That's human nature. This is why I'm such a big proponent of putting out so much content. It serves its purpose for trust and for paying you down the road. And of course, all that content, if you're smart about it, you can take all those little Instagram clips you put out and put them into, like, you can stitch them into one video and sell that as a course or sell that as your free course to reel people in, like give that to them as a freebie. So that's the curiosity phase. There's a method to all of this madness. I don't post 3 times a day on Instagram for nothing. I know that someone's always running into me for the first time, and I know I still have work to do with the people who haven't joined my community or got on the phone with me. Notice how I have a free community. It's going to change very soon, but I have a free community, and people still hesitate to join. That tells you. I know I'm offering exactly what 1 million people need. And I get 1 million plus impressions or views on my content every 30 days. Millions. And a small percentage of that actually join my free community or actually sign up for my newsletter. That should tell you something. That it takes, like, people are very skeptical, and that's okay. So am I. So are you. We're very skeptical of people we don't know. We're very skeptical of anyone in the online space because everybody's trying to sell you snake oil. So this is about building trust, and to build massive trust, you have to give away massive free value to let people know you're not a con artist. No, you're a genuine person. You're a real human being. And that's why that matters. That's the first thing. So now you're in the curiosity stage, right? Now the discovery stage. They're looking into you a little bit more. They're paying attention. They're thinking about spending their money. They got their credit card in their hand, but they're not so sure. So this is when you start to put out YouTube videos, or this is why you put out YouTube videos. This is why you have podcasts. This is also why you give free calls, free coaching calls, free one-on-one calls. I give free discovery calls. I schedule it as 15-minute calls, but I really give them the time of day that they need until I have all their questions answered. And that might take 20 minutes. It might take half an hour, but I invest in my community because it's a law of reciprocity. The more you give away on the front end, the more you'll have on the back end. Here's the gem. Here's the gem. Here's the gem. Write this down. You must give away so much free value that people feel guilty not paying you. Give away so much free value, meaning things that people actually value and that changes their lives or helps them better their situation, that they feel guilty not paying you. You have to be the leader of the tribe, the leader in your space. Be the person that people follow. And you do that, you build that trust, you get that you rally your troops by leading the way, by showing them that you're relentless, by being the finished product, appearing as a finished product, by putting out so much of this content. In the discovery phase, that's YouTube videos, that's podcasts, that's free calls, that's a newsletter. All those things serve the same purpose. They serve the same purpose. And I don't charge for any of them. I could be, but I don't charge for any of them because I'm about building trust with people. I'm not here to take things from people. I'm here to give. And then in exchange, they compensate me. That's the difference. That's the major difference. So that's the discovery phase, right? Now, in between that, in the curiosity phase, actually, you should be doing your best. And this is why giving free stuff is important, because it allows you to get testimonials as well. And that is a huge thing. It's a huge deal. Real testimonials of, like, people really giving video testimonials or real people giving you written testimonials of the free stuff, of your free coaching calls. Because you're giving it for free doesn't mean you're wasting your time. Get something out of it. Get a testimonial out of it. One well done testimonial goes a long way. A very, very, very long way, especially if it can be verified, that the fact that that's a human being and not like an AI testimonial or a fake screenshot, like, that goes a long way. And you should be aggressive about getting as many testimonials at the start as possible, even if it's friends and family. When I was doing my hypnotherapy business, I started with friends and family. Even though I wasn't the greatest hypnotherapist in the world, I would just try and get testimonials. Tell me the things you like, tell me the things that didn't work, and then I'll take the pieces that you like and I'll use that as my testimonial. It's still being honest, it's still being authentic, and you work on the rest. But someone really gave you that feedback. Use it. That's the curiosity phase. We talked about the discovery phase. People just need to see that you're a real person, period. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, people just need to see you're a real person, and then you'll have like your general audience, and then like 0.1% of that general audience will be your true believers, the people who actually are vouching for you, right? When you have those people, the people who are actually vouching for you, nurture them, tend to them. Because what happens is they'll be vocal for you. And those are the real life testimonials, the ongoing testimonials, the testimonials that extend beyond just like a written or video testimonial. These are people leaving comments under your stuff. These are people who join your free community. I would also say okay, let me finish that thought train. Tend to your core supporters, your true believers, because that's like having the team around you now. Those are like your cheerleaders, but in a good way, in a very positive way. Now, After the discovery phase, there's the relationship phase. Relationship building is important. These are the relationships you're building with your true believers. This is how people become true believers. You're building relationships with them. You don't have to keep doing things for free at this point, but you can offer low ticket items, like stuff that people buy, that they're comfortable at a price point that they're comfortable paying. It's not risky for them, and they get to really get a piece of you and see what you're really about. They'll give you feedback on it, or have a community like I run. I have a free community. It's literally like a forum. It's like a private group, and I talk to these people on a daily basis, and we have relationships. So now when I put out an offering, they're obviously going to be a lot less skeptical. They're going to be a lot less skeptical because they know me at this point, right? They know me at this point. So when I was doing my hypnotherapy business, I was charging $2,500 for a round of hypnotherapy, which at the level I was operating at is totally normal. I was one of the leading hypnotherapists, at least in North America. There was nobody growing at a faster rate than I was. $2,500 for a round of hypnotherapy with the results that I was getting was very normal. However, it was risky for a lot of people because, there's a lot of skepticism around hypnotherapy, understood. So what I would do is I would hold workshops at like $100 or $200 a person. A full day workshop. It would be like 4 or 5 hour workshop. People really get to sit down with me. It would be like a group of people. It could be 5 people, it could be 50. They really get to sit down with me and just hear me talk for hours at a time, see me interact with people, see me go through the presentation, the PowerPoint. They also get a hypnotherapy session included in that masterclass. Then it's like, oh, Pablo's amazing at what he does, or Pablo's really passionate about what he does. Even if he's not great, he's passionate. So from those masterclasses, I had clients that turned into full-on hypnotherapy clients. So that went from that $200 to the $2,500. And then from there, it would go to like the $3,000 3-week mentorship program. See how that works? Like, it's like, take your time. The mistake I made in my early days of hypnotherapy was trying to go from just putting out content all the way to like a high ticket product, like getting them on the phone and trying to sell them on a $2,500 hypnotherapy session. Like, that is, unless they already know that they're into hypnotherapy, like, that is, it's a big decision for me to make on the phone, especially if I don't know that other person. I don't know if it's going to work, In your newsletter, in your YouTube, this is what I started doing, in your newsletter, in your YouTube channel, in your free community, whatever it is, you're going to answer all the objections. You're going to answer, so on your free calls, you're going to see what skepticism people have, what questions, what objections people have. You're going to get these in the comments. You're going to make a YouTube video for every single one of those objections, and you're going to share it on your story. Answer all the objections up front. Answer them in your newsletter. That's what you do. And so as they move from curiosity to discovery, they'll be like, oh, hypnotherapy actually works if I do X, Y, and Z. Or hypnotherapy will give me the following results. Like, I would put out videos being like, what to expect after hypnotherapy. Does hypnotherapy actually work? What are you going to feel? What happens if it doesn't work? How do I know that it's worked? So like all the questions I've ever had, I noted down. A lot of those videos, I don't know if they're still on public. They might be privated. I don't remember. Trying to optimize my YouTube channel now, going into like the business and entrepreneurship stuff. But I had videos answering every single question. And I'm not worried about I wasn't worried about how many views they got. It was just there as a library of stuff so that when people would get on calls, or even before they get on calls, as soon as they booked a call with me, I'd send them an email and just be like, with all the links, be like, here's what to expect from our call. Here's what to expect from hypnotherapy. Here's what hypnotherapy would feel like. Here's why it costs so much. Here's why people pay it. Like, I had the answers to all their objections up front. And it would be like a 10-minute video, a 5 to 10 minute video like this. And they came in with less questions, right? And if they didn't believe me on the first video, they'd go watch another video, or so on and so forth. Like you don't even need testimonials at this point. You just got to get ahead of stuff. And you don't know what's in people's heads. You don't know what objections they have until you start talking to them, until you start putting content out there and letting them interact with it like a normal human being would. So I hope you're starting to understand why all this stuff serves its purpose, why putting out content serves its purpose. Let's talk about making easy content this is his own separate video, but it's not that complicated. All I do is I take my camera and I put it on my dashboard of my car. It's not mounted or anything. I just literally, you can pick it up and put it down. Like it's loose. I hit record. I have a bunch of topics that I thought of. I pick the one I'm going to talk about and I just talk about it. I take this 10, 15 minute video, 20 minute video. I put it, I take the SD card, I put it in my laptop. I open up a program called CapCut, or you could use Final Cut Pro or iMovie. I was using iMovie at the start. I was using the photo booth app on my Mac at the start with my Mac webcam. Let's not overthink this stuff, right? I throw it into CapCut. CapCut has like this auto clip software where like it takes out all the gaps. Now I leave the gaps in because it sounds more normal for the most part. Actually, I still take them out. What am I saying? But then I just clip like 60 seconds at a time. I'd be like, oh, this is a good clip. Like this answers people's objections. And now as I'm recording, I understand like what's probably going to be a clip. But anyway, that's its own video. All right, so let's not overcomplicate it. And I was also using my iPhone as well. Like I had my iPhone set up like this at the start, and I was just recording on the front camera. Because this all like, you got to think every video you put out is probably worth a good $1,000. In the long run, it's probably worth a good $1,000 in terms of how much skepticism it's going to remove from your potential clients, in terms of what it's going to pay you down the road once your YouTube channel gets monetized, which is, they've made it very easy to do. Like this stuff is worth a lot of money. There's no asset that's worth more in today's day and age than content. You could argue real estate, sure, but in my opinion, it's content for all things considered. But anyway, so when you get the curiosity down, which is just putting out immense amounts of content, you get the discovery phase down, which is putting out like long form content or newsletters or podcasts, really just nurturing your audience. You get that down. Podcasts are tough because they take so much time and you're doing one topic at a time. But really, I could take the audio from all my videos and make them a podcast, so it's not necessarily true. But you get the discovery phase down, you get the relationship phase down, which comes from free calls or just introductory calls, like you can charge $20 for your time. Okay, cool. Or you can start a free community, which I teach people how to do. Like it's very, very simple. You get those stuff down, people will slowly start to trickle down into your funnel, and you'll see it in real time. In real time, week 1, they'll be like, oh, I love your content, but does this actually work? Week 2, you'll see them in your YouTube comments. Week 3, you'll see them responding to your newsletter. Or week 3, you'll see them joining your community. Week 4, you'll see them booking a call with you. What you don't want to be doing is trying to rush people and trying to pull people. And that was a big thing that I had to get out of my head. I was trying to pull people into buying. I was trying to convince them into working with me. But if you get someone on a phone call and you have to convince them, you've already lost, because everything that you're saying already sounds skeptical. No matter how true it is, no matter what facts you bring, if you're in the standpoint of having to convince someone, you've already lost. You don't want to be in the business of convincing people. I would tell this to people in the call right away. I'm like, I'm not in the business of convincing you, because it doesn't work, nor do you want to be convinced. What I will do is I'll send you all the information so that you can sit on this and get back to me if and or when you are ready. Have all the information ready to go, and you build this as you go. I continue to get new objections. I continue to get new questions that I've never thought about. And so what I do is I add that to my list of newsletter topics or my YouTube topics, and I just put it out there and I let it live. Because that, like those YouTube videos or those newsletters, like your newsletters, when you send them out, they also get published onto like the newsletter website, the newsletter platform. Like if it's Beehive or MailChimp or Substack, like that also gets published to the internet, and it's discoverable when people Google stuff. So if people Google like how to build trust with your clients online, they'll find this stuff. So this also serves for that introductory curiosity phase as well. You see what I mean? So all this stuff adds together. The people who are making a lot of money online have a ton of catalog. They've just built a foundation. I'm going for $100,000 a month, and I know that in the grand scheme of things, that's going to be nothing to me. That's going to be nothing to what I'm making. I just realized I can swing and fight my way to $30,000 a month, $40,000 a month. I can build a nice funnel, and I can get it there. But in order to get to the bigger numbers, the big boy numbers, I need a solid foundation to stand on. A solid foundation of catalog to stand on. So many clones of me that are answering objections and selling and meeting people for the first time. All these pieces of content you put out, from the clips to the long forms to the newsletter, they're clones of you. That's why the internet is so powerful, and why building an online business is the best thing you can do, because you can be in so many places at one time. There's like 100 different versions of you. King Solomon in the Bible wrote 1,000 Psalms, over 1,000 Psalms. That's what I think about. In a few months' time, I have like 200 plus posts. I archived a lot of them, so it's probably closer to 300. And even that's not enough. Like YouTube videos, like I'm so focused on putting out as much content as possible, because this is all my foundation. And then what happens is it's like a snowball, right? It seems
to achieve financial.
It's like a snowball. It seems like nothing's happening, and then one day everything happens. One day it just goes, right? And that's what you're working towards. That's what you're setting yourself up. That's what you're setting yourself up for. I'm going to beg and plead with you not to lose sight of that. Have that patience and that focus to lay one brick every day, and then another brick, and then another brick, and move at your pace, move at your own pace. And you will see that this thing will explode, and you'll build a life beyond your wildest dreams, because you laid a good foundation for yourself.